Ryan Reaves wants back in. Mitch Marner has found his game while John Tavares has not. Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writers Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan. And guys, it's been a while since we've seen Ryan Reaves in a game. He's been on IR, but spoke this past week about how he has been ready for weeks. Terry, what do you make of this Ryan Reaves situation?
Well, he not much. I mean, to be honest with you, and by that I mean, Rob, it's I don't know that when he gets back in, if at all. I mean, I guess he will at some point, but he told us at practice on January 1st that thought he was pretty close to returning from this kneecap injury that he suffered on the 14th of December against Columbus, and hinted at maybe I get back in the lineup this week in California. Well, here we are 3 weeks and a day later, and nothing. And I think with the way that Pontus Holberg has played and Bobby McMahon has played, and now, Nick Robertson coming back in and seemingly scoring a goal whenever he's in the lineup, the immediate future probably holds more of the same for Ryan Reaves. And beyond that, he signed for 2 more years. So it's a fairly bleak future unless something drastically changes. But the fact that Sheldon Keefe can't get to a point where he can trust him in games is just all you really need to know right now, I guess.
Well, I'd have to say, Terry, maybe the worst thing that Ryan Reaves could have seen in the past few days is that Jake McCabe and Simon Benoit are playing really tough. They're dropping the gloves. That seems to have spread through the lineup, and that's what he was brought in to do. And even going back just around the time Terry mentioned, sat down, talked to him. He was saying that I know what I've done wrong. I know what I have to do better. I just need the chance to come back. And really, there's been no opening for them. I might say, Terry, that he might get in the game in Winnipeg, maybe because just he's got some ties there, that kind of thing. I don't obviously see him playing next game against the Jets here, but maybe maybe in the familiar situation he gets a shot there. To Terry's point, 1.35 million, and they've got him for a couple more years. And most people people who've done the number crunching say that's going to be a very difficult contract to bury. So they gambled that this guy still had something left, and as of yet, they've been proven wrong. He really has played his way into the press box.
Yeah, to Lance's point, maybe on the weekend, the squeaky wheel will get the grease. Meanwhile, Mitch Marner has turned things around with points in 5 straight games and goals in 3 of his last 5. Lance, is Marner looking like his old self again?
I think so. He's a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. It's very hard to. The other core 4 of John Tavares is very quiet. We know that William Nylander is very guarded. Austin Matthews may be a bit more talkative, but when things go wrong in Toronto, you can tell that Marner's got an investment in a lot of this, in the room, in the sea, and that kind of thing. Slumps seem to affect him more than anyone else, and he starts, looking, even though he professes not to have, outside social media accounts, and then he knows what's going on. He knows what's being said about him, and he takes it personally. So, to his credit, he's seen a lot of probably negative press, which he's not used to, and has responded. Now, whether or not he can keep that going for an entire stretch, especially after the All-Star break, remains to be seen, because of the core 4, until Tavares dropped off a bit, he was the one under question mark. So we'll have to see what the second half of the season brings for him.
Yeah, he's on pace for 99 or 100 points right now, and I don't see a drop off there. But Lance is right. Marner just has to worry about playing. I mean, we've seen enough now, and it happened again on this trip where he brings up the outside noise without being asked, and that tells you that he's thinking about it. Whether it's about him personally as an individual or as the team, he goes out of his way to make these points about how great they are and how awesome everything is. Those are 2 words that he used, I think, last week in the room and all that. Well, they'll just go out and play and show us. And the last, like you say, Rob, off the top, he's got a good point streak going here now. He's back on pace for another, close to 100-point season, and that should be his greatest concern. This idea, that they're being unfairly criticized in the market or whatever is silly, of course. The fact of the matter is the team has underachieved this year. So, stick to playing hockey and doing what you do best, because when he is doing what he does best, there are a few equals in the game. We see that. And the chemistry, again, with Austin Matthews is right back to where it had been in the past. So, I think he should be able to keep this going. You know, as much as the funny thing about Marner is, as much as this has an effect on him somehow. This outside noise, like Lance alluded to, with guys like Matthews and Nylander, it just doesn't. Everything rolls off their back. You know, Marner's still, like last year, what, a 99 points, getting close to 100 points, and just on this 90+ point pace again. So go out and play hockey, do what you do best. I mean, he's one of the smartest players in the league, and you know, everything else should take care of itself for him.
Finally, John Tavares has gone pointless in his last 8 games, the longest drought of his career, which is pretty unfathomable for a guy that's been so consistent over his career, Terry. How concerned are you that this is more of a trend than a blip?
Well, you know, the thing with a guy like Tavares is you want to, what's being said is, well, being around the net, and he's getting his opportunities. I think in that last game in Seattle, he had, you know, 2 shots on goal and 6 attempts in total. So those things have been happening. But the fact of the matter is, as John likes to say, he refer to himself as a difference maker, and he hasn't been that. If he gets on the right side of it offensively in some of these games where he hasn't had a point in the past 8, maybe the Leafs win 1 or 2, and some of the heat comes off the team as a whole. I'm not placing it all on one player, but certainly Tavares' job and role is there are many aspects to it, but one of them is to produce points, period, not to almost do that. And I think that's having an impact on the wins and losses lately. And 8 games in a row is the longest he's gone without one, and his longest since his rookie season when he had 2 7-game skids with the Islanders. So you got to find a way here, but boy, it's going to be awfully tough against a Jets team that gives up absolutely nothing at 5-on-5.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It looked like he was turning things around against Seattle, but the Jets are a totally different ball game. He's still killing it on faceoffs, which is good.
Yeah.
He's still winning the good defensive draws, and with Patrice Bergeron out of the league now, he's remained up in the top there. But much more is expected of him. It was actually good to see him. I was at the end of the Edmonton game, Terry, where he was in a bit of a scuffle, so that was good to see. You see a lot of complaints from people saying, "Why doesn't this guy speak up? Why doesn't he do this, that, and exert himself more physically?" We don't see everything that goes on, but he's not. It's not his first rodeo as captain. The team has had general success under his leadership, but at a time when the Maple Leafs desperately need goals, he has to start cashing those. And maybe we see some more line juggling towards who his wingers are. It's not necessarily him falling off that Keefe has moved people around in an effort to get other guys going. We'll have to see, though. Peter's going to see if this continues. What they do with Tavares at one time, remember, they moved him off to the wing for a while. So anyway, have to see what radical solutions Sheldon Keefe might come up with.
Yeah, I think his best role is in the middle still. I mean, like you said, Lance, I think he was 12-2 in the faceoff circle in Seattle, and I think he's 4th overall in the NHL in winning percentage. So I understand that if he's going to be moved to the wing, he could still take the faceoffs, but probably the best for him right now is to keep him in the middle and give Leafs that strength, at that position.
Well, we'll see what the Leafs can do. Some more tough games against a strong Canadian opponent this week in Winnipeg. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below or send us an email at TorontoMapleLeafs@postmedia.com. For Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.